Hello and welcome to the day ahead. It is Monday, November the 24th. I'm Andrew Gagan. Well, the local market is set to rebound from Friday's steep losses, with ASX futures up more than 1%. This follows a mixed session on global markets on Friday, with European stocks ending lower on concerns of stretched tech valuations, while on Wall Street, stocks rallied on expectations of a December interest rate cut by the Federal Reserve. For the week, the Dow was down 1.9%, the S&P 500 lost 2%, and the Nasdaq was off more than 2.5%, while the small cap Russell 2000 index fell for a fourth straight week. Well, shares of Nvidia briefly jumped on speculation that the Trump administration is considering approving sales of the company's H200 AI chips to China. However, the stock fell 6% for the week, despite reporting strong quarterly results and a robust forecast. Shares in Oracle led Friday's losers in the S&P 500 tech index. Alphabet shares extended their record run following the launch of the latest model of its AI model Gemini 3, while Apple rose along with Meta. Eli Lilly rose after the company became the first drug maker to touch the $1 trillion market capitalization level. And clothing retailer Gap beat Wall Street expectations for third quarter comparable sales and profit, helped by strong marketing-driven demand for its apparel. New York Fed President John Williams, who's seen as an ally of Chair Jerome Powell, has hinted at a December rate cut, saying, "I view monetary policy as being modestly restrictive, although somewhat less so than before our recent actions. Therefore, I still see room for a further adjustment in the near term to target the range of the federal funds rate to move the stance of policy closer to the range of neutral." Well, US factory activity slowed to a 4-month low in November because of tariffs on imports restraining demand, leading to a stockpiling of unsold goods. And relief for manufacturers is not expected to come soon, with the University of Michigan's survey of consumers revealing a sharp drop in buying conditions for manufactured goods, with the survey noting that consumers remain frustrated about the persistence of high prices and weakening incomes. US Treasury yields have fallen to a 3-week low as investors raise bets that the Fed will cut interest rates next month due to a weakening labour market. The US 2-year Treasury yield fell to 3.51%. The 10-year was down to 4.06. The US dollar was little changed on Friday. The Aussie trading at 64.6 US cents. Ukrainian, US and European officials met in Geneva on Sunday to discuss a draft US plan to end the war in Ukraine, after Ukraine and its allies voiced alarm over what they saw as major concessions to Russia, while President Trump has said that Ukraine had not been grateful for American efforts over the war. Well, prior to the meeting, oil prices fell to a 1-month low as the US pushed for a Russia-Ukraine peace deal. Brent futures were down 1.3% at $62 a barrel. Copper was up almost 1%, iron ore up slightly at $104 a tonne, and gold is weaker, having fallen more than 1% on Friday. Spot gold at around $4,065 an ounce. And Bitcoin dropped to a 7-month low on Friday, closing to close to $80,000, but has recovered over the weekend to be at around $87,000. Locally this week, the focus will be on the Consumer Price Index for October, which is released midweek, followed by the September quarter private capital expenditure, and on Thursday, private sector credit on Friday also. Overseas, US private payrolls data is released on Tuesday, along with retail sales, home prices, and the Producer Price Index for September. Wednesday, the Reserve Bank of New Zealand reveals its interest rate decision, and the highly anticipated UK budget is released also, as is the Fed's Beige Book, and on Thursday, US financial markets are closed for Thanksgiving Day. No data locally today. All eyes, though, will be on BHP on reports that it's made a fresh takeover offer for Anglo American. BHP tried to acquire Anglo last year for $49 billion US. On the corporate calendar, those companies holding AGMs include Pro Medicus, Southern Cross Media and WeBet Nano. That's your day ahead. See you again tomorrow.